And we're live. Great, great, great. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to everybody who's not here yet, but that's okay. We'll give you some time, and we suspect somebody will arrive shortly. Until people do arrive, let me get a couple things going here. Check my various sundry opportunities. And go like this. So there's so many things to do when you do this. So walk a do, walk a do, walk a do. Let's go like this. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's not do that. Go here, go like this, and let's go look for Carnivore Scott. And where is it? Carnivore. Hello, hey Michael, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Just want to make sure that I have everything on board here I need to have on board, and I do. How you doing, Michael? Hey, howdy, howdy, howdy there, Lindy. How are you? Welcome back. It's a beautiful day in the 100-acre woods. Glad to see the people are coming in and saying hello, hello. Just got off of an interview here about 15 minutes ago with Greg, and it was an awesome opportunity there, and I appreciate him. Hey, Keto Cheeto, how you doing? How are you, buddy? Everything good? I hope so. As I was saying, I just did an interview here just a few moments ago, and it was an interesting and good time, a great interview, and I was really appreciative to have the opportunity where Greg gave me an opportunity to talk about everything I do, and what more can I say? I mean, this is just pretty much how it works. So, yep, you know what, my weight loss, and I was really happy to have that opportunity. Hey, yep, I get the whole family in here pretty soon. So here we are. It's a beautiful Monday. Did everybody have a good time? Well, I guess it's Tuesday for Lindy. Is it Tuesday already for you, Lindy? I guess it is. It must be morning time for you, and it's probably a chilly day down there, down under. I need to ask you about it before you get too famous. Oh, never going to happen. Never going to happen. Mm-mm. Nope, 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 nope. I don't know. I'd be glad to. I don't know. Did you catch one of my movies I'm in? All I do is I play a bad guy. I'm just a bad guy. I'm never a love interest, and I'm glad. I don't know how people do movies with love interests and do all that kissy face thing and be married. No, I remember I did do one. I do movies, or I have done movies and stuff. Bird is jumping on my keyboard. No, no, no worries about that. I know you and your bird, but no, I have done some movies, and I did one once where the uh, I just said yes, I'd do it before I really knew what I was volunteering for, and I ended up volunteering to do a role that ended up with me being in close encounters with somebody wearing scantily, let's just say they're scantily clad. And the role required, the lines in the role said that the actress was going to reach around behind her back and undo her scanty clad stuff. And I was like, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable at all. But that role, my role, the shot schedule never came. And I was there all night long. I didn't like being there all night long. And I lived 2 hours away. Finally, at 4 o'clock in the morning, cold, hungry, tired, and nervous and upset, the director said, "Okay, we're not going to use you tonight." And I was like, "I'm glad. I'm still cold, tired, hungry, and upset, but I'm glad I didn't have to be in a compromising a role. So I came home and I did some deep thinking, and I decided that the role wasn't worth the trouble. And I ended up calling the gentleman who brought me on to tell him I can't do this. And they never shot the scene, so they can get someone else. Oh, he read me the riot act. I was so unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. Guilty as charged. But I'm not doing that scene. Well, next day, I got a phone call from the director, and he's like, "What's the deal?" And I told him the deal. And he says, "No, that's not how it's written. You don't have that. That doesn't happen." I said, "Well, that's what it says." He goes, "No, it doesn't say that." And I was like, "It does." And he said, "Where?" So we got out the script, and I took him I took him to the page, to the line, and I showed him right there. And it says right there, and she reaches behind her back and she undoes her negligee. And I said, "I know you're in California, but that means something completely different to most of us. When she reaches behind and do a negligee, we don't normally wear our winter clothes under our negligees. I know we may be weird. I know in California, that might be how you do it, but underneath the negligee, pretty much just a birthday suit." And he was like, "Well, it doesn't say it now." So he took it out of the script. And I said, "Okay." Still wasn't comfortable. Did the scene, did the movie, and I'm done. And that's pretty much the last one I worked on, except I in a web series called Bermuda City. And in Bermuda City, I play a bad guy. But we finished that up, and so I'm pretty much not doing it. Yeah, that's it. That's my life. All right. Let's catch up with a couple things here. Michael says, "Scott, is anything you haven't done?" Yes, and many things I haven't done. Kangaroos and gravity. I could never swallow that one. There's all that ocean and the force it must take to pull it up. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep, everybody's saying hi to everyone. Hey, by the way, Lindy, that was a great kickoff to the series that you and Todd were doing. I really appreciate it. I hope the butter rhymes didn't get too old. I know that Todd was scrolling through the comments and he's like, "Oh," I keep slamming comments in there, so I apologize. And now you can see up there about 0858. I did put the stream key up in here. There's that stream. If y'all want to come on in, you hit that and I'll bring you in, all right? And then we can discuss. Yep, it was a great show. And if the world turns at 1,100 miles per hour, but jets cruise at 500 or 600, then how can they outfly the spin? Air spinning too? Yeah, it's a complex thing, but it just seems that putting a wall in the flow. So we move it in the flow. It's physics. Yeah, no, of course, it went very well, and I think you all kept it rolling. It's not easy to. Oh yeah, there's a Coriolis effect. Let's not forget that. In the weather business, it's very important. But yeah, it's not as easy to keep the constant stream of consciousness going, particularly when you're in there by yourself. But when the two of you, it does, and you will learn as you do more of this. Just like when you do I'm sure you do a lot of online meetings, right? If you're doing Zoom meetings, the people who say things so they need to be heard, and there are those people who say things that need to be said, right? And you can figure, that pretty well. So you and Todd, you did your thing. You discussed a lot of topics. You found more topics to discuss at a later date, and that's awesome. And with feedback, and I'm sure that if you decided later down the road, You can bring people in for vignettes. You can sit there and do like they do with the grill party, the cookout, keto cookout. You can schedule people to come in for about 15 minutes and do their part to talk about what they are passionate about. It could be any one of a number of topics that you and Todd are either well versed in or in ones you want to get better versed in. So you'll do fine. It was awesome. I really appreciate you doing it. And the time slot is awesome there on Sunday night, right? I think you found a great time slot. Now, hopefully that works with the fam. So everybody who's in, as you see the little Chiron going on the bottom, smash the like button and subscribe, and subscribe to everyone in the stream. I think it's an important thing to do, that all of us can, raise all the boats together, and in this community, as we grow and as more people become aware of it and start to join us, it would be great that everybody already has a basic understanding. Now, of course, what we don't ever want to be is cliquish. Yep, a lot of Zoom, but I'm always sitting in the back row listening, not the naughty corner. Yeah, what are you trying to say there, Lindy? Huh? What are you trying to say? Yeah, I think the old Cheeto's got that right. Yeah, hey, gotta be careful with the dunce hat. Gotta be careful. I got that one time when I was in kindergarten. It gets me all emotional. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing we do here, and I just love the lives, particularly when we can, when all the participants understand the nonverbal cues, and everybody else gets a chance to participate. I just love it. I see that there are 8 people checked in. Now, one of the things I was talking with Greg about at My Weight Loss Life, right, at Tinfoil. One of the things I was talking about, just so people know, now most of you probably know this because you're a very intelligent group of people, but have you noticed, hey, Bypass, good to see you. Good to see you. When we come in from multiple channels, like if you're going to a live, or let's just say someone decides to go ahead and jump into the stream tonight with me, right? So now I've shared the link, and they can show it on their page of the show being on, right? So some of your subscribers jump on. Well, if they only see it from your portal, your onboard, then they might not catch all the text, all the comments, and we know that, right? So what I do is I keep multiple tabs open when I go out. So I may have 4 or 5 tabs open that show me in the stream. I'll only be listening to one. I'll have the others turned down really, really low. And that way I hope people are getting watch hour credit because I'm in all of them. And then if I write a question, I'll try to cut and paste it into both streams so everybody can see it. Because last night I saw, Laura, that you were in there, and Bypass, you were in there. And I believe you came in through Lindy's portal, so to speak, her page, and I was in through Todd's, and I was all these other people over here, so I jump back and forth. So by all means, let's do that. Oh, okay, everybody can meet everybody. Oh, that's great. I really like to see that. I need everybody to do that because that makes this work so much better. Again, the link is up ahead, but I'll go ahead and post it. There you go. And today is Monday, and let us begin now. We're about 14 minutes in. All the highs, hellos, and things are done. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of your most recent non-scale victories. Being a Monday, did anybody have an opportunity today for a non-scale victory that we hadn't seen before, maybe? One you haven't shared? I know today, again, was another day. I'm wearing this shirt. I think I may have worn it once before, but you can tell now the neck is way big. It used to be a tight neck, and I have it buttoned all the way up. Otherwise, it falls open. You can see how the seams on the shirt are now, well, pretty close to being off the edge of my shoulders. My bones won't get any smaller, no matter how much I weigh. But it used to be tight, and the shoulders filled out, and the body filled out. Now it's very, very nice and loose. I like that. All right, let's catch up here. Ha! Nice to meet you. Well done, Keto. Hey, it's the big man of Alaska. Hello from Anchorage. How are you doing? Welcome to the late night with Scotty, also sometimes called the after party. Welcome in. How you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't think I've seen you around the keto carnivore world, but by all means, Anchorage, what a wonderful place to be. I don't know if you know Bill from Alaska, Bill Knott. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Hey, there you are, buddy. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, things are well enough. We still got some questions with the doc. Got some things we need to talk about yet, but so far so good. It's gonna be okay. Going to do all right. Good to see you. Came through Todd, switched to Lindy's. Yeah, right. You using your phone. Yeah, multiples. Yep, that's tough. I get you. I get you. Ah, yay, Scott. Okay. Big man comes in. Started 4:30 down. Sweet. Amen. Amen. Good for you, brother. Good for you. I'm getting a little bit of lag. I'm gonna kill a couple of windows, a couple extra things open. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we'll have just a little bit less hitting my network. Pull that off. All right. All righty. Hello there, Northern Stitcher. How you doing? You're in Anchorage also. That's awesome. So now, Northern Stitcher, does this mean are you a cross stitch type person? Yeah. But oh wow, yeah, that's true. Big man losing 111 pounds in 21 weeks. That's 5 pounds a week. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Why are you tired there, Cheeto? What's going on? Yeah, that's right. Everybody's saying amazing job there. Hey, a big man, do you have your own web? Or excuse me, do you have like a YouTube channel? That's the word I was looking for. YouTube, yay! If you do, feel free to put it down wherever the conversation is on your computer. All right, be happy to you. Sanye took some blood test, but botched herself from doing some. Yes, that's right. I've done the same thing, or fasted too much before blood test, not just a little bit. Yeah. Cross stitching is your passion. Do you have Northern Stitcher? Do you have a genre? Like some people like to do wildlife. Some people like to do garden and floral type things. Other people like to do a word. I'm sure there's a number of genres within the cross stitching area. Do you have a favorite that you like to do? Unfortunately, I'm able to meet Bill. Okay, have you been online with Bill? I mean, sometimes if you go to Homestead How, he'll normally be on Carrie's pages. Maybe that'd be a chance for you to cross. He may check in here. You never know. Sometimes he drops in here. Maybe. So yes, I'm talking my entire job on YouTube under this. Oh, great. Well, if you don't mind, you don't have to. But if you wanted to, feel free to post your link in the comments to your page, okay? You are more than welcome to evangelize your YouTube work on this channel. Normally you have to ask people. Some people are pretty touchy about it, but I'm good with it, okay? All right. Limitless says, my husband cross stitches. He's so good. Oh, cool. You know what? I'd like to get some cross stitch stuff done. Sometimes I think about it, but I'm just not patient enough for it. Alaska, are you in touch? He's Alaska, right? I think he knows about Bill, but he hasn't got the connection yet. But you're in a great place to do that, and I know that meat is expensive, but I know that the wild meat, wild game is plentiful, so perhaps that will work to your benefit. All right, Sonya, I think, and get ready to come in here. Let's do this. Bada boom, bada bang. And here he is, the
Hey,
man, the legend.
hey, man, good to see you.
Good to be seen, better than being viewed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stay too long. I wanted to tell you, I learned something about doing blood tests that I didn't know before, and it's actually skewed the previous one I had as well. But the doctor didn't really let me know why, but I figured it out. But yeah, um, yeah, when you take your blood test, if you're scheduled to take blood tests, they tell you to fast for,
Two
um,
hours.
yeah, fast for a couple of hours. I mean, 8 to 12 hours, maybe something like that. And anyway, I did that, and but unfortunately, the day before, I do a lot of endurance cycling, and I had a particularly long ride Wednesday, as well as the day before, and man, like I was really zonked, and I was reading that endurance type training or high intensity training really skews a lot of your levels. Like my glucose was elevated, my triglycerides were elevated,
Sure.
liver functions were high. All of my liver results showed like high readings, and my all of my blood markers were really low, like my white blood cell count, my red blood cell count, my anyway, I got an email from the lab or one of the doctors and just mentioned, hey, we got to probably do a redo on you. They were asking me what I did. They said, well, did you fast? I said, yeah. And I just mentioned, I said, I had a beer after my workout. Maybe the beer messed it up, And they said, no, what kind of workout? And I said, yeah, I was running a lot. I mean, I was cycling a lot. And then he was like, yeah, yeah. We should have told you like not to do anything for 2 days.
Yeah, many people are somewhat familiar. Like, let's say you get into a fight or flight situation, and
Right.
you get really worked up, right? Well, those hormones have a half life in your body, and they just don't get scrubbed out willy nilly in 15 minutes. They can really throw you off. So it makes sense that when you put yourself in a situation where you're stressing the body, which is what you're doing when you're riding 35 miles, 60 miles, and you're doing it all uphill, that your body's really going to have gone through a lot of stress. So, yeah,
Definitely.
that's definitely something to take in consideration.
But I had a good, my a couple of weeks ago, my weight loss seemed to have kind of plateaued. Like I was kind of in that 176, 177 pound range, and um, it's dropped a couple more pounds since then. And like I think most of my weight loss is kind of done. But I'm still losing a little bit of weight here and there. So um, like I think I'm 174 now, 174, 175, just kind of depends.
Yeah, well, you look like you're shredded. You look like your subcutaneous fat in your
I
extremity
know.
is like crepe. You look like crepe paper practically skin,
Yeah, yeah. What's funny is I'm already showing signs of a six pack again. I haven't had that since like the ninth, 10th, 11th grade. Well,
right?
so but yeah, I have lost a lot of body fat in the past couple of months, more so than before. But I think it's mostly because I do a lot of aerobic type, long distance type cycling,
Right.
and that's part of it. And then I'm eating, a very low carb, almost zero carb type diet. So that has a huge effect as well, I think.
Now, have
So
you incorporated cycling sprints into any of your exercise programs?
yeah. Um, Now I've kind of always done that, although I learned that sprinting is actually really good. I've been reading a lot about sprinting becoming popular, but part of my part of my training plan for cycling is usually once a week. maybe once a week, sometimes 2 times a week. I'll incorporate sprints on a day where I don't put in a lot of miles. I there's a couple of spots that I like to ride to, and
Hmm.
I do some uphill sprints. Um, and I basically just go all out on a hill until I just can't go anymore, and then I'll just coast back down the hill,
Right.
and then I will repeat. I will repeat that 10 times. And there's another couple of sections of road that are it's nice and flat, and I will usually I'll try to do about 25 minutes to 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes of sprinting, just intervals where I'll sprint out
Right.
as hard as I can, and then for about 30-45 seconds, and then followed by about a minute or two where I just get my heart rate down to about you know a lower heart rate, we call kind of a rested heart rate, 135, 145, and then when I'm settled down again, then I'll take off on another sprint.
Yeah.
But I do that once or twice a week. I do that.
Now, have you watched much of Dr. Sean O'Mara's channel?
No, I haven't. I'm not familiar with him.
Okay, Sean, Sean, O'Mara, O apostrophe Mara.
Hmm.
Um, he I think he'd give Dr. Kiltz a run for his money on energy, right? And
Okay.
he's a retired military guy, military doctor. Took care of the president for a while. Uh, does
Okay.
really does really high end stuff, and he has a whole a video channel where he really talks about sprinting and the benefits of sprinting. And what he has done is um, he has MRI'd a lot of his patients, and so he can literally measure the exact amount of visceral fat you have. And he has been building the case that shows guys who do long distance rides like yourself can have a tremendous amount of visceral fat. And he had one patient who came in. The patient either did pass out or almost passed out when he saw the amount of visceral, because he, like yourself, on his arms, everything, he's just ripped. But he saw
Uh-huh.
all this fat in the picture, right? And
Right.
he about fell out. Well, the good doctor told him, "Hey, try this protocol, put the sprints in." Obviously, like yourself, he's a conditioned person. So the guy was doing it. He's showing improvements. And he came in and he showed a retrograde. And the Dr. Omar challenged him because he'll do that. And he says, "Are you back to doing endurance stuff again?" He goes, "Yeah." Well,
Uh-huh.
you can see the fat belt right back up because swimmers, when swimmers do lots of swimming, have you ever looked at distance swimmers,
Yeah.
particularly women? They are not ripped
Yeah.
because their body has learned from all that time in the water to store the subcutaneous fat as not only an energy source but as an insulator, right? So I would encourage you to go look at Dr. Sean O'Mara,
Yeah.
Mara, and check out his protocol. The dude is wicked smart, like like um, like wickedly smart, and
Yeah.
very very energetic. And he's really big into probiotics like kimchi and other things. But his big thing is sprint, 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 sprint. He has a whole protocol on it. So you're getting because you can overdo just about
Yeah.
anything. A
Yeah.
little bit is good, more better. I don't know, but Dr. Sean Omar, and he's very approachable, but he is as direct a man as you will ever find.
Yeah. I'm gonna write that down. My
Matter of fact,
calendar
you'll probably hear people talking about sprinting here. And one lady, she just finished. Oh my gosh, I have so many people. I'm trying to remember the name. She just started up a channel with a couple other women, but Christy, and she did a sprint. Well, she did a sprint challenge, 30 days of sprinting. But there's just something that happens at the epigenetic level that sprinting brings out that endurance training is on different. It's like two different complete camps for the physiological response to it.
Yeah, in cycling, sprint workouts are real critical, especially for short distance racing, and even long bike rides where it's good for building up your burst strength and stuff like that. Most of my rides though I concentrate on keeping my heart rate in a zone. It's called zone 2 training, where you keep your heart rate in this aerobic range.
Sure.
It's about 70% of your max, and it's really good at just burning fat. Especially is really great if you're already trained and or not trained, but if you're already
adapted, fat
adapted like I am. I can go all day long. I don't know. I mean, I could probably ride well, I'd love to do an all day ride just to see just how many miles I can do before I just can't go anymore, because it seems like when my heart rate is in that 135, 140, I just can go all day, it seems like, and my body's just burning fat, it's not at this massive level where it needs to really burn a lot of fat. Like, I'm not pushing myself so hard that I'm running out. Like,
right.
It's like you can't burn enough fat to create glucose,
Well, I think you and I correspond a little bit about Dr. Stephen Finney.
Yes.
And Berta.
I've been watching his videos. Very good.
And I didn't know if you had seen his video where he talked about he was consulted for a endurance rowing competition. Have we talked about that?
Yeah, you did. I didn't see that video.
Yeah, but basically the husband and wife team, they're eating oil and peanut oil, and they beat a record by not hours. In racing, competitive racing, sometimes it's seconds or minutes. They were like weeks.
Yeah.
Because just like you, once your body, so I always liken it to being the difference between running on JP8 or on diesel, right?
Yeah.
Turns out when we're running off of fat, we're running off of diesel, right? Yeah. But if you figured, if you were 20% body fat, which you're not, you're probably closer to 10%. But if you were 20% body fat, right? Well, if you're 180-pound man or woman, but you're a 180-pound man, you're going to have 36 pounds of fat at 3,500 calories per pound. That's some big math. You have plenty of calories on board at all times.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not like when I say I'm 174 pounds. I'm not tall. I'm 5'8". You're much taller than I am, I think, right? You said you're 6'3"?
5.
Oh shoot. Okay. Yeah. So for you, your version, you're probably hoping to be like under 200 maybe, or 200 pound. Is that your goal? Or
225 would be a miracle for me.
Okay. Because I'm not I can't imagine what you're, like I'm thinking, okay, 6'5", what do you want to, but that sounds slim to me. 210, 215, 220 on that size frame. That's probably going to look really slim, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments of being called slim back when I was young playing basketball in the military at 245, 250 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not only tall, but I'm pretty big. Like, all you guys who get to wear watches?
Yeah.
I don't. My wrists are so big.
Oh, yeah, that's what happened. The watch that I have on now, it used to be kind of snug on me, and it's like very loose. I might have to take a link or something out of it.
Well, so for me, I thought about getting one of those fitness watches. I had a Fitbit, and I had to get the big band and put on the last hole, and it popped off. And I was okay. I can't afford to lose these nice watches. I cannot put one on my wrist that you can buy with a big enough band, and that's all bone.
Wow.
So I'm a pretty big fella. I was so big, and when the first time I was in the military and they were checking my lungs out because I had come down with a bit of bronchitis, in 1985, you couldn't fit my lungs on one frame picture. I had to get two pictures, one on one side, one on the other, and then they put them together. So pretty broad, pretty big framed.
Yeah, I saw your interview on Larry's channel, Carnivore
Uh-huh.
Soldier. Yeah, it was excellent, man. I enjoyed that. I sent you an email. He sent me your email address, and I
Right?
had sent you an email. I was trying to kind of get together and offline and talk a little bit about our forecasting school that we went through together.
Oh yeah, I've been
There's
thinking
like,
about it, and things been whizzing by, and I had a vacation and some things there. But I
yeah.
was thinking about. I'm trying to remember some of the guys that are in my class, and
Did you
one of
know?
the guys, he was so smart and so capable, and he went off to officers training. I think not long out, like within a year, right? But we had a couple of Navy guys, and I have to pull out some old stuff to see who I can remember who was in my. We had one Marine, one young African American, a Marine short fella in my class. So my class graduated, like I think you graduated, I think one class or two classes behind me. My class graduated like in June 26th.
Yeah. Now our school, we
I
were
know you're a little
extended.
different.
We had some specialized training after. We had Navy Unique and Navy Marine Corps Unique. Um, like we peeled off from the Air Force
I remember
at
that.
one point, and then we peeled off from the Marines. And we did our. So I think I finished in July, from what I remember.
Yeah, I
And
think we probably walked the same times, the same places, ate at the same dining
yeah,
facility.
yeah. Did you know? Did you know Kelly McGee by any chance? She was
I
a
do know the name. Yeah, I
yeah,
think she was in my class. I think did she graduate first in my class? I don't know. I can't remember exactly.
she graduated with me, but she went to Offutt. You had mentioned in there that you were at Offutt, and I remember she was at Offutt for quite a while because we kind of would send email back and forth between the class, but the people we all went to school with, and
Right.
I over the years we've lost touch with each other. But she was in my class for the most part until we split off. Yeah, but yeah.
She might have. She actually might have. I don't know when she got to. So I got to off it. You know what they say? Once you get on it, you can't get off it. No. I got to off it in 98. So she might have been there much sooner than that.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the only particular Air Force name that I remember being, in school with. I had another Air Force. There was a guy in our class, and he was very smart as well. Air Force guy.
That wasn't me.
I, I wish I could remember his name, but I don't. But yeah, it was some fun times. And I was weightlifting a lot during that time frame. I was really big into weightlifting then, and
Um,
I was pretty muscular for my, I guess for, compared to your average person. And and I remember back then, as much as I was eating, like I was eating everything and drinking everything. Like I was drinking regular Cokes, regular Coca-Colas, and a lot of them. I was drinking beer regularly. I was eating pizza. I was eating everything because I was just figuring, well, I'm working out really hard. I can eat anything. And I remembered my blood tests back then were absolutely normal. I'd taken, like you take a blood test every year for something. And I remember before they screened me for something, and for my next duty station, I had to take blood work. And I do remember the doctor was like, "Oh man, your blood work's excellent," And I'm thinking, man, I couldn't get away with eating like that now, and like eating because I mean I was living on pizzas and
oh,
you
see
know,
the vagaries and indiscretions of youth, right?
yeah, I was in my mid 20s back then, or maybe my late 20s when I went there.
So
But yeah,
when in forecasting school, were you in building 301 where all the TDY students were?
as
It was
in living, as in
field.
the
Yeah.
barracks. Oh, I
Yeah.
was in Navy housing. I was married. I was
Oh,
in the
okay.
I was over living by the golf course in those
Okay. I
in the
didn't know
housing.
that. See, that's another reason because I was in the barracks and you were in housing. Like I said, we'd go to the hitching post, so it's pretty much a hitching post life for me. It's where I met my wife. Matter of fact, we ended up having the little white chapel right there on
Yeah,
post.
I got married at that little white chapel.
So did I. It's not
About three years prior to going to that forecasting school. My wife and I, who we were engaged at the time, we decided let's just get married at the little chapel. That way, we don't have to get married when I'm home on leave after my first school. Yeah, we were married at that chapel.
So I was married at that chapel also, and right during forecast school.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
and
my
I
daughter was my daughter was born the last 3 or 4 weeks while I was in forecasting school. My daughter, my wife arrived, came with me over there. She had just found out she was pregnant when I started, forecasting school. So,
so yeah, I got married there, and my wife and I we then we got married in May because I wanted to use the Memorial Day weekend for a honeymoon. Stupid idea. Then I graduated on the 26th. My daughter's birthday was on the 28th, and we rolled out on the 29th to Albuquerque. But it was an interesting time. But I actually had my rehearsal dinner and I had my reception at the hitching post downstairs because it didn't
well,
cost me any money.
we didn't go to the hitching post much when I was going to forecast school. We had this thing where we met at the NCO club, and they had on Fridays they had blackout bingo. So we go there and play a blackout bingo, and then we'd all have a couple of drinks while we were there. But it was everybody from the class. So we had the Air Force, a couple of Marines in there, and a couple of the Navy. So we were a pretty tight class. We all got along pretty good and socialized together.
Yeah, my
So
class and my class, we had a Navy guy in there. You might know him. He wasn't in the weather business. And he hung with a group of us, and he got in so much trouble that he got put in the brig. I think he was in hydraulics,
oh yeah, right.
and he was a
Okay.
little feller, and he'd come out with us, and he always wanted to fight, and he'd get in fights, and he'd turn to me and another kind of a big guy, and like we were going to back him. And one time we were at the hitching post, and he reached up over the railing. Some other guys up there, Army guys, who are doing their thing, and we're down here doing our thing. He reached up, grabbed some guy, and just popped him one, right? Well, they boiled over, and they looked at me, and I was like, "Have at it," you know. So they beat a tattoo on him for a minute, and then I said, "Okay, that's enough." I took him, and he just wanted to go to a club, and he was so involved in his alcohol. Anyway, he ended up getting the brig, and he actually got a assignment to Pearl Harbor, and he went to Pearl Harbor in the brig. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah, man.
So I'm going to catch up here real quick. So Big Man Alaska's talking about he used to be an avid mountain bike rider. Getting on a bike next summer is a goal of his. So maybe you and he can commiserate at some point in time about biking stuff, and make sure that y'all do that. And then also he was talking about my hearing aids just ran out of power. So pardon me. I gotta get juice on the hearing aids. But maybe you all can work on that. And then about getting online here, by all means, I know that you're in here on a phone, aren't you, brother?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my iPhone and my earbuds in. Yeah.
All right. So what happens is some people are new to the whole streaming thing and don't understand, and the technology. It's not a technology thing. I think it's some technology has got a lot more user friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So this StreamYard is very user friendly. So what I'm going to do here, big man, is I'm going to go like this, and so I've just put that. If you would have you can tell them how to do it, but don't you just copy that and paste it into your browser, like whatever browser you're using?
What I was using the YouTube app, click the link, and it brought me straight to opened up Safari browser and brought me straight to StreamYard. Yeah, pretty easy.
Okay, so hey, if you want to try that, big man, go ahead. We'll just sit here and we can talk you through it. And but doing this whole being live is for me is not difficult because getting me to talk is not a problem. It's getting me to shut up. But yeah, I think
I
it's
think I
pretty
think
easy,
when you click the link, it may if you're on an iPhone, I don't know how the Google, how an Android works, but the iPhone's going to ask you which browser you want to use to follow that link. I just said, oh, I'll use Safari this time. I guess you could use it whatever, but yeah, it's easy. Yeah, mountain biking, man. I mean, we don't have any mountains here in South Louisiana. We do have some mountain bike trails that are kind of man-made with some shallow hills and stuff that are real popular in one of the parks around here. But yeah, I think it's important to keep. You don't really have to exercise so much on this particular carnivore or keto type diet because you're going to lose weight just from the way you're eating. But
right?
it is good to keep exercising. I mean, it's good for, maintain, do something aerobically at least. That's you don't have to like go into all the heavy weightlifting and the CrossFit stuff. I'm tired of running but I've always liked riding bikes, and I did a lot of bike riding when I was in my late teens that I had to put to the side when I joined the Navy. But I was kind of a much more avid. I was kind of getting into racing and then I joined the Navy and I just put everything aside. But cycling is great. It's a great sport for me because, it's a good way to burn, just, burn calories and get yourself in shape.
And here we go. Big man is in.
All right. How you guys doing? Well, it's good to be here.
All good. Big.
My cat.
He likes you too.
What part of Alaska are you?
I'm in Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay, gotcha. The
Yep.
sun's about to set in Anchorage pretty soon, won't it? It's good.
Can't change the.
You'll be getting into some all dark times pretty soon.
Yeah, the sun's about ready to go down here in the next 15, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
All right. I love the hairdo and the goatee, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I saw this on a movie where a guy kind of cut it back a little bit. So, yeah, I get crazy hair that grows right here. It comes with old age, I guess. It's just strange.
Hey, sometimes I marvel and say if I can grow it, I'll keep it. But then when it comes out all, like you said, straggly, so it's out.
Mhm.
I'll try to grow this back up, but it looks like someone stapled hamsters to my head. So I let that go
Yep.
too. I'm not. It's not that important to me, and it's a high speed, low drag right now.
Right. So a little bit about myself. I started my weight loss journey at 435. I started out with a 5-day water fast after about 3 months of studying different types of fasts.
Okay.
And after that 5 days, I lost 30 pounds. I immediately rolled into intermittent fasting, 24-hour fasting. I did sardine fast, egg fasting. I got creative with it. I was doing videos, so I was just like, well, I might as well have some fun with this. And yeah,
Right.
so far we're here. We're doing pretty good, and I'm gaining my health back. So now I'm started carnivore about 30 days ago. It's been a rough trip with carnivore because it makes me feel full all the time. So I'm just trying to get a good solid week in there.
Well, I think part of that thing is, I mean, you're obviously, I guess, going to be a guy who's rips the Band-Aid off and not peels it off slowly. You're all in type of guy.
I definitely try to go all in on everything I do, and I do a ton of research on pretty much everything. Like the doctor tried to prescribe me Ozempic at one time. This is before I even started my weight loss journey, and I automatically asked them. I said, "Hey, what's the side effects?" They didn't have any answers, so I came home and I studied the side effects, and I was like, I didn't want it, and I tossed it out. And there's still a lot more revolving around that Ozempic product, so I just stay away from the wish away drugs.
Yeah, we were discussing it last night with Limitless Lindy and with Todd and at the Carnivore Cure, and they were saying the drug company was basically getting a lot of people. Now, this is my opinion. Nobody get upset here, But by making it so available with coupons and making it price point really low, relatively speaking, a lot of people get involved in using this medication. Then when you couldn't get any more of the coupons, the problem arose because now you really want it, and you've never undertaken a change to the baseline issue of your food relationships and your mental relationships. So you, just like you said, the wish away type of medication, and now you're frustrated and you're unable to do things, and you're pretty much, I want to say, for lack of a better word, hooked on the success of the wish away. And you know what I say? You may not pay today, but you're going to pay. You got to pay the piper no matter what ride you're on. So with you and carnivore, and you said feeling very full, I too have that issue, feeling really full. And I began to wonder, because now I've been diagnosed with a fatty liver and maybe an enlarged spleen. And one of the big things they say with all that is you'll feel full very quickly. So as the weight comes down, and now you say you're a big man, how tall are you?
I'm about 6'2".
Okay, so you'd be considered a tall man. We have larger organs, but the whole idea being is that could be one factor that pressing on your gut, causing that full feeling. And as your body adapts, I mean, other people can chime in here, but as your body is adapting to this pretty much all meat and egg type thing, it takes the gut quite a while to acclimate, particularly the biome. It's not real happy either, because in what I've read, our biome is there because of what we eat. In other words, it goes to an environment it will grow in, right? Because we breathe it in, we eat it, it's all over. Well, you're changing the substrate of what's there, and it still wants to do what it does. So it may take a while for that whole process to work out.
You know, one of the interesting things to me about eating carnivore, and it's made because not so much because of the low carb, but you're eating a high animal fat, right? And I've read, and I'm pretty sure Dr. Chafee and Baker has mentioned this, is the high fat. There's something in the way it's metabolized. It triggers something in your brain to say, stop eating, and you will get nausea. I will eat like over a pound of, like, say, ground meat today. This happened today, matter of fact. I cooked up about a little over a pound of ground meat to eat for like lunchtime, and the last few bites, it was like almost to the point where, like, I feel like if I ate any more, I was going to just throw up. I was almost sick of looking at the meat, right? But I was full. Like, I didn't even think about eating food until, way late in the afternoon. And all I ate was a can of sardines and a couple of boiled eggs. I really wasn't that hungry. And that's because your satiety, that when you're eating a lot of carbs, plant-based stuff, the satiety, the chemicals that tell your brain to say, hey, you got enough, don't really work the same, because your brain thinks when you're eating these plants, your brain thinks that you're in starvation mode, so it turns off that satiety. Oh, can't get it out. My tongue's off.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It won't turn it off, so you'll just keep eating and eating and eating and eating, and because your body's thinking, oh, that you're eating plants, you must be starving because there's no meat around. That's an old one of these old primitive things. If I go and start trying to eat vegetables right now, I become ravenously hungry. Let's say if I ate a salad, and even if I had a lot of protein, chicken or eggs, hard-boiled eggs on top of the salad, as soon as I'm done that salad, 5 minutes later, I'm just hungry for everything. Doesn't matter what it is. And it's right. And I mean, that was my problem with eating like a high carb center, a more carb center type diet, was you just kept eating, man. And you're like, well, I got to stop because I'm going to eat well over 2,000. Back then, you were also counting calories. So you're like, well, I don't want to go over 1,800 calories so I can lose weight. But then you walk around hungry all day, waiting for that, waiting for your next meal. And that's why I love this diet. Now, the thing was, you think after that ground meat, like I wouldn't want to eat ground meat for the rest of my life, but nope. You know, the next time I'm going to be nice and hungry, and I'm going to be savoring that, beef dish. You know, it's like you would think like it turn your, it's not like you're going to be sick of it forever. It's just your body just says, hey, you've got enough, stop eating. And that's what it is. You almost feel sick, but it just lasts long enough till you get hungry enough again, which is, hours later. But I love how that works. I think that's fantastic.
Now, that's something I did notice right away when doing a sardine fast. I did a whole 5 days sardine fast. It's just one can in the morning, one can for lunch, and one can in the afternoon. And that's all I ate for the entire week. But just one can of sardines made me incredibly full. And I had incredible weight loss. I think I lost about 15 pounds that week.
Are you under 400 now?
Right now, I believe I'm around 323 pounds. I'm on my way down. I'm trying to get below 300.
It's like 111 pound weight loss, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna spend a minute here describing some physiological aspects that maybe you and I share. I'm 6'5". I started about 310-ish. I've been as high as 316, down to about 275 now. But I had pretty good central adiposity, so I was pretty brown guy, okay? And I had a doctor tell me, because I had some numbness in my thighs, and the doctor said, well, basically what's happened is one of the nerves that runs along your hip, your belly is aggravating it. It happens to a lot of pregnant women, right? And I can feel my leg, I can move my leg and all that. But when I touch it with my fingers, I could tell there was some deadening on the surface of it, right? Because he said, well, that nerve is aggravated because of the belly. The other thing he said was, when you look at a person, and he said, when you know how the rectus abdominis, so your six-pack is, right? And you look at a person who has a six-pack, and as that pack comes into the middle, and it dents in along the midline, all the way over the umbilical and down, right? Well, yeah. A woman is pregnant. This is the best example I can come with, right? And her abdomen expands. Those muscles, they're still there, but the tissue in between, it stretches out. All right. So now the six packs are floating off left and right on the rectus abdominis. Well, when she has the baby, then all the exercise has to happen to fold it all back in. Okay. Well, for us guys who are real heavy, and for women as well, when you're real heavy, those muscles there, but they're really spread out. And what you can notice is, let's say you're laying down in your recliner or in your bed and you start to get up and you see a little ridge pop up right down the middle of your stuff. Okay. All right. That's the tissue in between the muscles, not strong enough to hold in all the visceral fat, because you have the six-pack runs north and south. Then you have your transverse obliques, which are deeper muscles. They attach all the way in the back and the ribs, and that's what's your girdle, right? And that girdle is tightening, and when that tightens, so shortening the distance between your chest and your pelvis, that's how you raise up. All that visceral fat starts to pop out. That's what that ridge line is. All right. So anytime you're getting ready to get up, so I had a couple of umbilical hernias because all that was pulled apart, had all that extra visceral fat going too fast, and it popped. Right. So whenever you're getting ready to get up, if you don't want to see that ridge, hold your gut in, like you're sucking your gut in like a vacuum, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kind of hold it in on purpose and then sit up, and it won't do that. But because of that motion and because of the visceral fat, that's also what's pressing on your stomach and making you feel full. So as you go along, because you're a mental guy, you like to think and know the whys, right? You've got your organs stuck in there with a bunch of other stuff. And when the other stuff starts to go away, you'll have more room for the expansion in your stomach as well from eating a heavy food thing. All right. So that's a good point. And the final one is, have you gone and checked out anybody on Steak and Butter Gang?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
They have a thing they call priming. Have you heard of their priming?
I have not.
Okay. There's another gentleman said, the gentleman by the name of Todd, he does the Carnivore Cure. The channel is the Carnivore Cure, Todd.
Yeah. I'm subscribed. Yes. Mm-hmm.
He just got a coach off the Steak and Butter Gang, and he's getting ready to start priming. He's just like yourself when he started at 700 plus pounds, and he's losing a bunch of weight. And he was doing OMAD, eating one big meal, and now they said, no. Here's why you're stalling. You're getting to almost to a caloric deficit for your requirement. And so they're going to make him eat 3+ meals a day, like 25 eggs and a couple pounds of meat. And it could be like Cool Hand Luke when he didn't want to eat another egg. You don't want to do it, but your body and your metabolism has to be brought up higher so that it will start to metabolize even more what's already on board, in your subcutaneous fat. So there's a whole bunch of things going on that might be able to help you and to bridge this time, because you've done so wonderful already. 100 plus pounds, and what was that? Was like 5 pounds a week, I think. So that you've done like 20 something weeks of this total.
21 weeks. This is week 22 right here.
Yeah. So to lose 5 pounds a week, and we know the first week or two, there's lots of water readjustment and everything, but to maintain that loss continuously on that slope for beyond 4 weeks, you're doing everything right. You must carry a lot of extra muscle mass. You probably have some pretty strong legs, I suspect. What do you do for a living? Or what do you do Monday through Friday when you're not hanging out with the school kids?
Well, I'm a truck driver. I drive semi trucks. We haul snow in the wintertime. Right now we're doing gravel type work. I also haul heavy equipment around town and stuff like that. So that's the brunt of my exercise for the day, is tying down loads and hooking and unhooking trailers. And that's about it. Other than that, I just sit down on my butt and drive around in circles. And that's been kind of the basis of my YouTube channel, is how I lost 100 pounds in 15 weeks without any exercise.
All right. Well, now Limitless Lindy is priming this week. She could, if she was able to come on, I'm sure she would share it with you. But yeah, but even still, in driving truck, getting up, getting down, moving, there's a lot to that. There's a lot more than people will want to admit to. While it does involve a lot of sitting, there's still a lot of motion doing things. So yeah, by all means, I'm glad you're taking command and control over your health care.
Yeah, I have a question.
I appreciate it.
I have a question.
Carnivore Truckers channel.
Oh no, I have no. There's with the work schedule I have and the hours that I'm doing. I literally have 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, to film and produce these videos that I'm putting out right now. So I'm very limited. I don't have a lot of production time. And my 100-pound weight loss video, that one took me 2 weeks to put together. And that's the only reason it went so well, is because it just took a lot of time. I studied a lot of other videos and implemented a lot of video making strategies into that video. And that's why it did what it did.
All right, cool. Well, I highly encourage a Carnivore Trucker. He does a lot with Carnivore Kip. So if you get a chance, go out there. I mean, you guys are doing the same thing. He's out in his rig and he's showing how he does his meals on the road type thing. And they got a nice little support network going on there. So, I mean, just as a potential for you to find another person who's walked in the very same steps you're walking in.
Right. I believe, I did see a short form video of his, I believe yesterday. I was recommended that, and I took a look at it. But I believe he's the over the road trucker down south, right in the lower 48, which is, I've done that as well. I spent many years in lower 48 trucking, and that is a whole nother aspect of trying to maintain your personal appearance.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Well, hats off to you for doing what you do because you do it in an inhospitable environment at times. So good on you. You've been doing it for a long time.
Trucking. I've been driving some form of a truck since 1996.
So what are you just out of high school then?
At that time, yeah, I was pretty much out of high school. Well, I went straight to work instead of going to college.
Good for you.
I learned how to drive a truck pretty quick. And I was back in that day, they just handed you a CDL. You didn't have to go to school or anything. They just said, here you go. You can drive that dump truck over there. And then I went on to drive semi trucks, hauling doubles, oversized loads, and even ran the haul road, the Dalton Highway up here in Alaska for about 6 or 7 years.
Wow. I tell you, I'll be honest with you. I did 20 years in the military. I drove a deuce and a half. I drove a 5-ton, but never anything more than that. And anything was I think I got a vehicle that had a couple gear shifts, a couple clutches, and it's an embarrassing story I'll tell another time. But yeah, no, all I did was snarl up traffic, and yeah, that's the extent of my truck driving days. I'm done with it, and my hat is off to people who can actually pull that off.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Mr. Alaska. Are you familiar with? I love listening to the Trucker Channel on XM, and there was a guy who's not on there anymore. He's got his own show on his own streaming. I think his name's Rutherford Kevin. He was on Sirius XM for quite a while, but he has his own show. I'm thinking it's Kevin Rutherford. Are you familiar with that name?
No, I never had any access to Siri type radio broadcasts, so I was pretty much either stuck on FM or AM. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, because he's got his own. He streams his own radio show, and he's really into he's trying to spread the low carb lifestyle for truckers. He was very active in that when he was on XM radio on that trucker channel, I think it's called Road Dog channel. But anyway, he's a carnivore. He's pretty much eats carnivore now, or when he says ketovore. But he a few years ago when I first started listening to his show, he was a low carb eater at the time, probably 100 grams a day. But he kind of got me thinking that I should probably start following something like that. And that was I want to say in 2015 or 16 maybe. But yeah, he's got a very good show, and he's very, very adamant about talking about healthy eating for truck drivers, and giving them tips on how to stay carnivore while you're in the cab driving, all down the road.
I've been finding, even going out to eat. I just went out to eat the other night with my wife, and I got the country skillet. Well, I passed on the gravy. I passed on the potatoes, whatever onions or peppers were in there. I accepted those. So I had bacon, eggs, and sausage. Had 3 fried eggs, and it was just. And then I asked for a cup of butter. They brought that out. I tossed it on, and it was just absolutely amazing. And I even let the wife try, and she's not into the whole carnivore thing. She's doing her own thing on the side, but she took a bite, and she was like, "Wow, that's really good." And that was great for dinner. That was awesome.
Isn't it amazing how butter tastes? I mean, I just love it, and
Mm-hmm.
I even ate the unsalted butter I bought by mistake, and going, I can like this too. You know what I mean? I just love butter.
It just means
the beauty of
Redmond
unsalted
salt.
butter. Yes, exactly. I said the beauty of unsalted butter is we can add our own salt, and you can make it taste however we want. I have Redmond salt. I also have Himalayan pink salt. I use some other types of salt like Celtic sea salt and stuff like that for the extra minerals.
And then, do you ever find yourself, either of you can answer, either you find yourself after this amount of time, because I'm just now on day 88 or something like that, right? Do either of you find that you are getting cramps at all, like late night cramps? I heard Sean over at Intentional Carnivore talking about, oh my gosh, you got to, you got to get up and you got to stretch it out, whatever you do for cramps. Do you find you getting cramps yet?
I get cramps, and the only way I've found to alleviate it is that I use a product called No Salt, and I also use some extra magnesium tablets. I make my own electrolytes at home, So using a process of Himalayan pink salt, apple cider vinegar, some lemon juice, and also the product no salt. And you got to be very sparing with a potassium-based supplement. So it's pretty potent. A little bit goes a long way, and that does help with the leg cramps, because I get leg cramps mainly, even when I'm sitting in a truck trying to drive. And now that the temperature is changing, I'm starting to get arm cramps up here when I'm working with chains and binders that are extremely cold. So cramping is an issue.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you don't find magnesium, so there's lots of different types of magnesium. And if you get a magnesium, most magnesiums are going to have a more of a impact on your intestinal fortitude. You'll know if you have too much pretty quickly. But
it'll let it go.
What's that?
I said it'll let your bowels move. That's for sure.
But there is, and I don't have it right in the tip of my tongue. I apologize. But there is a form of magnesium that has the least amount of that impact. It's not common, but if you just type magnesium with low bowel irritability, you'll get the name of it. But if you run out or you're in a bind, go to the drugstore and get some Epsom salts. Epsom salts like magnesium, right? But just like with the no salt, a little bit goes a long way. But it just in case you get caught, because I even have I have some magnesium carbonate, and I like it because it adds a little fizz, you know. So I put a little bit of that in. I use my hand. I've learned, so that's how much I need of no salt. That's how much I need of regular salt, and that's how much I get the little thing for the magnesium. Put in there, give it a little shaker in my shaker cup, and I make my own for pennies on the gallon, you know.
Yes.
Well, that is good to know, because I've never had the issues with leg cramps or like at night or anything like that. So, but I've always had taken a lot of electrolytes even before I kind of went keto and carnivore. I was still pretty up on salt and electrolytes just because I was biking a lot, I think.
Right.
But yeah, I do drink a lot. One thing I'm very happy about was I was finally able to get off of even Diet Coke a few months ago.
Good for you.
All I'm drinking now really is sparkling water, and sometimes I'll add a couple of dashes of Redmond salt into my sparkling water and just kind of stir it. Doesn't really affect it too much, but it just gives you a little bit of extra, sodium, I guess, in there. But
yeah, well, I played football as a kid growing up in West Texas, out in El Paso, Texas. And every day at practice, you had to take salt pills before practice, salt pills during practice, and salt pills after practice. And we're talking little tiny yellow pills, and we took those bad boys, and coach would run you up, right? Never had a problem. Ran all day long, ate all. So, I think salt has such a bad rap in our society. We do well to get more of that into our bodies as well. So that's cool. I want to address what Don says here. We were talking about it a little earlier about that part of your gut, sticking out when you sit up. And Don brought us some stuff. So it's diastasis recti. That's what it has. 4 big babies, right? And that area in between the rectus abdominis. Now, when she gets down here later, she talks about exercises. All the exercises we need to do to leave the rectus abdominis alone. Do not exercise the rectus abdominis. That is the most overworked and least effective way. But all of your transverse obliques, there's a few of them. They come in different ways, but all that is going to happen from doing planks. Anytime you do any kind of plank, like if you do a side plank, and they're all in and out, I don't need to spend it. Graduate and do a little bit more. And then once you get good at some side planks, and that will bring your waist in like a girdle, then you can do what they call the suitcase carry. Have you seen that before? Basically, you pick up a 40-pound weight in each hand for guys who are big, maybe 40 or 50 pounders, and you just walk. What you want to do is bring your arm and keep them good and get the weight off the ground, and then keep your shoulders, rack them back, keep the weight, and then walk straight. Don't get a lot of swing and back and forth. Just walk, and then put it down like you're carrying suitcases, and that will work your core like nobody's business without getting you out of kilter. Because when you're a big guy and you're a big guy for a long time, the erector spinae muscles, which are the small muscles that go along your spine, they do micro adjustments. But we, because of our large bow, are creating an unnatural curve to our back here, right? So that pulling really messes with our back, and that's what causes with your L5, L6, and your S1, your sciatic area to compress, right? And then you get some real problems. So what we need to do is get the weight off the front to counterbalance, right? We're doing that through the diet, but we could do some real good stuff through doing some work on the transverse obliques, leave the RA out, and that would also help you.
Yeah, I do a lot of core, like planks, just mainly because that's just some extra exercise to do when you're cycling, keeping your core strength, core strength up. But I do a lot of planks.
Yep.
That's like the main one for cycling. That's very effective for keeping your posture on the bike. But yeah. Hey, I'm gonna have to go. My phone is about to die, and I got to get up really early tomorrow morning for some stuff. But I just wanted to say thanks for bringing me on, and I was glad to catch up. And yeah, we got to check. We're gonna have to talk by phone about some C school or our forecasting school stuff, just off the offline.
Sounds good. Thanks for jumping in.
All right, man. And it was good meeting you, Mr. Big Alaska. And man, that weight loss is awesome, man. It's like I'm gonna look for your channel, man. I'll leave you a couple of comments.
All right,
yeah,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, man, awesome. I don't have a channel myself, so I just like to, I pretty much just love the carnivore stuff, and I just like following a bunch of different channels. But anyway, y'all have a good night, and thanks again. We'll see y'all soon, okay?
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
So I tell you that you're doing a great job. I don't know how many. Is this your first time being interactive in a live situation?
Yes, it is, and I'm still trying to figure out everything that's on the screen here. I don't know what I can touch and what I can't touch, and what'll mess things up. The leave button is the only obvious one here that I can see what it does.
Well, and I apologize. I don't know what it looks like on the phone, and I've never really done that aspect of it. But that's one of the things I'm trying to engender in this format is we're going to explore and learn all this together. This is like a safe space, if you want to use that. I mean, looking at 12, 15 people maybe come in and out. People pop in, pop out. I try to do it Monday through Thursday nights, 8:30, 9 o'clock Central for about 2 hours. So I've been on for about an hour and 18 minutes. And just like you saw, David popped in, popped out. Lindsay's been in. The other night we had 2 other people in. We just kind of just an ad hoc type thing with no particular agenda other than talk about things important to us and whatever the folks in the chat might be bringing up.
Okay, I'm fiddling with. Oh, I can bring up the chat. I just realized that. All right. Back out of that. That's interesting. I mean, it looks kind of annoying on the phone the way the landscape is. I should have started out with the phone sideways. But
why don't you go ahead and try to turn it the other way and let's see if it corrects itself.
I did try that at the very beginning, and this is what it does.
You got to give it some time. It might flip.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I think because I was studying this on YouTube to try to figure it out, and I believe what they said is that whatever you start out as, either vertical or horizontal, it's just going to stay that way.
Well, why don't you back out and come right back in? I'll throw the link back up, and you can come right back in.
Well, I'm actually in the same situation as him. My battery is just about to fail.
All right,
and I got several messages stacking up, probably from my wife, wondering why I haven't been responding to her in the last half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
But she's out on a hunting trip, and she's on her way back in from Willow, and that neck of the woods, up
You know,
there
that's
somewhere
where-
where Bill Knott lives.
Yeah, so Bill.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't mind asking, do you have a first name we can refer to you other than Big Man?
Yeah, it's John.
Okay, John. All right, appreciate it,
Yes.
John. I'll try to remember that. Always welcome to come on in. You're always welcome to join us, and I appreciate you
Okay.
taking the risk.
I appreciate you educating me on many things that I was completely unaware of. The main reason I started this was because, I'm a fat guy. I'm a lazy guy. I figured out a few things, and I was just trying to share with the world, like, hey, this wasn't that hard for me to do. I want to tell people. I have friends all over town sending me emails, sending me text messages, wanting to know, hey, man, how are you doing this? You're looking great, because I saw you a few weeks ago and you didn't look like this.
Right.
And since I started carnivore, I haven't necessarily lost as much weight, but I'm losing inches all over the place.
Right.
And it's
right.
like I'm working out, but I'm not working out.
This shirt used to fit
Yeah.
tight,
Yeah, this shirt never fit. I mean, I'm wearing clothes now that never fit. I mean, my wife bought them and they were too small. She bought me a really nice, expensive winter coat, and that jacket was way too small, and it almost broke my heart. But now we dug it out of the shed, and just for this winter, I put it on, and I couldn't believe how well it fit. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I mean, it's the best fit I've ever had. And, I still have about another 90 pounds to go to get to my ideal body weight. I'm shooting for about 235.
Okay.
And it's going to take a while, but I also have a mountain bike sitting in the shed. My son uses it to go to work, but I want to get on that thing and ride it, because we have over 100 and something miles of bike paths here in Alaska,
Right.
just everywhere, all around town. They run along the ocean, they run along the creeks, rivers, and streams, and it's just, I'd love to be able to get out, do videos with people, and show them the cool stuff. And it's just like right here, it's just off the street. And you just don't know what you'll find if you just turn and walk down a path.
And it's also amazing when you realize, after you start this weight loss journey, this new lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about earlier, the things you took for granted that you couldn't do.
Yes.
And when you get to do them
Mm-hmm.
again, you're going to cherish them so much. It's so much sweeter, and hats off to you for doing it.
So something I talked about in my latest video is that I was taking my socks off the other night, and you know how morbidly obese men, they have this weird awkward waddle where their heels kind of kick out a little bit. The pads of your feet wear funny. I noticed that my heels were correcting themselves. I have less dry skin on my feet. They're not looking as cracked and damaged because they're not swollen from all the water weight and just the sheer weight pushing down on them. But
the other thing,
I mean, stuff like
the circulation. So when you
Yes.
get edema in your leg, and you're a truck driver, so you get a lot of edema,
Yep.
You got to get that lymphatic fluid moving, and you can only move lymphatics through motion. See, there's no
Right.
for the lymph system. So if you don't move, and Lindy talks about, she has a vibrator that she has under her desk, as a foot vibrating thing, and it causes micro flexing of the muscle, and that pumps all the fluid up to where eventually you can get it run through your kidneys, and you do all that stuff. So think about it. Like when people have diabetic neuropathy, the first places they really get it is in extremities, particularly the toes, because there's no circulation
Right.
putting that stuff out. So of course your skin is going to be bad. Your nail beds are going to be bad. You're going to have all those issues. So again, it's like a country western song being played backwards. You get your life, your wife, your truck, your car, you get everything back when you start.
Right.
What you said was I'm going to use the word simple dietary change. Stop eating crap.
Mm-hmm.
Eat good stuff, nutritionally sound stuff, i.e. carnivore thing, and your body will begin to heal itself. It's designed to do that.
So before I even got started on all this, and before they even prescribed me Ozempic, one of the things the dietitian at my hospital recommended was start a meal log, and I was blown away. Write down everything I ate, and all of a sudden I realized, I had a book, and I wasn't even through the day yet, and I'm like, what in the world? And then I got to the point where I got tired of writing stuff down, so I would stop eating. certain things because I was just tired of writing it down because I was just walking to the pantry, walking to the fridge, going over there to the counter, getting some cookies, or it didn't matter. I was eating close to, I think I figured it out, about 5,000 to 6,000 calories every single day.
And
which was the equivalent. Yeah, it was nuts. And then I was eating meals, and then I was eating meals in between meals, and it was just it was absolutely madness. And a lot of it had to do with being depressed and a lot of other issues going on here in the family. We also had a death in the family where my children's father passed away unexpectedly last year. And here in Alaska, you can't just take care of business that quickly because the ground's frozen.
right.
So, and his burial place was up in Nome, and we had to wait a long time. So it was like perpetual pause of mourning going on in this household for
Right.
almost, it seemed like 6 months, but it was
Sorry for your loss.
it was devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was devastating to all of us. And we're an Alaskan Native family. So, and he was Alaskan Native as well. So when one of us dies, it's like someone in the family dies, even though he was the ex-boyfriend. That didn't matter. You know, he was like a brother to me, even though we didn't get along. You know, we still loved each other, even though we didn't like each other, if that makes sense.
Well, you have a common interest in family thing, and you've got to respect that. I know. So my wife had a child from a previous marriage. I adopted. That marriage was dissolved for a reason. All right.
Mhm.
I never spoke poorly about the man because it's not my place. My daughter and her father have a good relationship. He has a relationship with his grandchildren, right? Because I never
Yeah.
wanted to be that guy who said I had to find my purpose in making me the only important person in someone else's life. That's just not going to work. And it doesn't have good long-term outcomes, right? So I totally get what you're saying, that relationships are so important and they should not be mistreated. Even like you said, you don't have to get along. You don't have to be buds. So
Yeah.
good on you.
But I am just about ready to run out of battery here, so I need to respond to my wife a little bit.
Do that.
I thank everybody for coaxing me in here, and I thank you for teaching me how to get in here and keeping the conversation flowing and interesting. There is a little bit of a lag because I mean we're probably 1,000-some miles apart.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's
so yeah.
right. So that's a little hard to get over. I don't know how bad it is for all the viewers trying to see, but there is a couple second lag on my end. When I talk, I can hear myself on your end for just a split second. And it kind of makes it a little hard to go back and forth, especially with 3 people in the room.
Well, you've done remarkably well, and you're always welcome, John. Go get that wife.
Okay.
Go ahead and get your contact, brother.
All right. Thank you, sir. And everybody, God bless. And I hope to see you next time.
Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.
See, here's the button.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, just us in here now. So let me get back. So yeah, Lindy, if you can post a product name, that would be great. The vibration plate is good for under the desk when working, sitting position with flares. Yep. So and you know that whole thing of the leg being bent at 90 degrees or so, that doesn't help the lymph get up and over the knee. Bury my heart at wounded knee, right? So if you can put some type of name and nomenclature there, Lindy, that'd be great. Stretch band, elevate. Yep. Circulation, I get it. Gravity. That's right. John did a wonderful job. Just in case for all the note takers, Big Man Alaska is John. So by all means, somebody who has a much better habit of writing down names, if you can catch that. He did have somewhat of a challenge, he said, with the at Big Man Alaska. He did have a challenge somewhat with the lag. I wasn't aware of it, but he did great. I can't wait till he starts running his channel. That'd be great. Thank you so much. Yep. Good night. God bless. Yeah. So that was a great time tonight. You know, been on for about an hour and a half, and we've had a couple people come in and out. And now, if y'all didn't notice it, you probably did. But Desanye and I were in the same career field in the military, and he and I were in the same school, forecasting school at the same time, but with all the people, yeah, DSONYAY, Desanye. I don't know if that's how he wants me to pronounce it, but yeah, pretty interesting to run across somebody in your career field at the same school you were at, and we were at the same stomping ground. So pretty cool. Allison, yep. I'm looking forward. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing less of him. You know what I mean? Seeing more of him. That sounds kind of a little like counterproductive, but counterintuitive. I'm just being funny, or at least I think I'm being funny. But yeah, and I really appreciate Dawn. I appreciate you coming in for me there with the name of that disorder for the muscle there. I hope I didn't get too wonky, but I don't know for you all, but I was a little freaked out when I first started noticing it. I thought that was my six pack trying to come in. I didn't realize that the gap between my abdominal muscles, my rectus abdominis, is about that far, like the distance between my eyes when I look forward. And I was like, oh, which tells me I need to do more work on my obliques. And I don't do any on them. And I have the exercise ball right there. But I've been doing workout in the yard, and I've been working on that stinking fireplace now. And today the fireplace finally has the cement backer board, the whole face, obviously not the opening to the fireplace, but the fireplace in general has an opening, and has it covered. And I'm hopeful that tomorrow morning I will get up. I don't have to, but I want to go rent a tile cutter, and the tile cutter will facilitate our process here. And I'm going to see if I got a hole. I can't tell for sure if I have the hole. Yeah, I do. I don't know if you'll be able to see it off my phone, but I'll bring it closer and I'll try to get this. There you go. Kind of see it there. So we have all the Durarock. I call it Durarock, but it's cement backer board. All that's up. And tomorrow we're going to start the process of, you got to start at the ground. So we're going to start here at the base here, put in the little thin pieces of tile all the way here, and then go up and up and up and up and up and up, and then it'll be done. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do up here. I'll do something different, but it'll get done. But doing all that work and walking up and down the hill and back and forth and dragging tools and doing all that stuff has really worked me out. It really has. It's been pretty significant level of effort there. And so let me ask folks, anybody want to share a non-scale victory or a scale victory? Thank you very much, Michael. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm really hopeful because I'm going to sit down underneath the whole idea is if I sit around a fire pit, I always end up with a lot of smoke on me. So if I can get it up in a fireplace, I can get the smoke away from me, right? And then with the smoke going away, a nice fire there, and I'm under a roof. The roof is on fire. No, the roof's not on fire. It's in a fireplace. But that way I can be out there and it's a little light rain and with a winter time, I want to build up a couple of half-high walls, about 50-inch high walls, close to 50-inch high walls. That way, when I sit down in a chair, the wind can go right over the top of my head and not get my head cold. Yeah, I've got plans. I've been working on this now for 3 years. 3 years. First the pad, last year the roof, this year the fireplace, later this year and into next year the walls. I'm done. And then we ran power down to it, so I have lights and power, and I can run my internet because one day I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do a fireside chat. I think that'd be fun. I don't know. We'll see. All the neighbors have been coming by. What are you doing back there? What's that sticking out the roof? Well, that's a chimney. So been a lot of fun, and it's been going well. And it's been keeping me busy, so I haven't had to do exercising. And non-scale victory today would be got yesterday I went out to my truck and turned it on, and no, it didn't turn on. And I thought, oh my gosh. Well, actually last week, and I put it on a battery charger because the battery seemed to be drained. And what ended up happening is it didn't. I filled it up and it said full. So then I didn't go for a day or two and went to turn it over. It said drained. So tomorrow morning, if I go out, and so I filled it up, I cleaned the battery terminals, I cleaned it everything, put it back on, fired it up, let it run for about a half hour, 45 minutes. Turned it off, left. If tomorrow morning I go in and turn it and I don't get any starting juice, I know I have a short somewhere. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I put it on the diagnostic machine. The diagnostic machine, the little handheld thing, didn't give me any error codes, and I'm not automotively inclined, so I don't know what it's going to mean, but that'd be my next project. And the thing with the fireplace is I don't have a clue of what I'm doing. I am absolutely clueless. But my friend John, he knows what he's doing. He was a professional framer, and he can figure things out, and he's flipped a lot of houses. So he's helped me, and we're getting it all done. And tomorrow he's going to do what he's really good at, and that's tiling. So tomorrow we're going to do the tiling, not all of it, probably not all of it, but a good amount of it with tiling on Tuesday, tiling on Wednesday. I've got to call in some numbers for my chimney race cap, and then I'll be able to have fires. I'll be having fires in my fireplace. I'll be so happy. And so will my wife. I'll burn some of the ugly wood I have stored on the side. She's not real happy. I don't blame her. Bypass for being clueless. It looks awesome. Well, again, I had good help. And his name is John, my buddy. There's a lot of Johns out there. And John is really good. And I know I do my part. I do my thing. I help. I'm a good little apprentice. And I've helped him many times. And he goes vacationing each year. For about 6 or 7 months out of the year, he goes on vacations. He normally takes off right after Christmas, and he comes home in April. And he takes off in late May, early June. He comes back in September. And I watch his house for 6 months out of the year, 7 months out of the year. I collect his mail. I forward his mail. I check make sure that the lawn gets mowed in the summer, and that the water heater or nothing broken in the winter. And I check his house. So it's a pretty good little trade-off. He's been very diligent in helping me, and of course I've had to pay for everything. But just to have that, it's a smallish pavilion, 18 by 20 feet, and 18 by 20, and I left the gables open when I had it initially constructed for the top part of the roof. And I wanted to get the gables filled. So I priced it out and had some people give me some bids, and they wanted $3,000. So another friend of mine from church, who's handy with a hammer and a nail, he helped me do it all in. And we got it done for $350, not $3,000. Well, then I went to go get a fireplace, and to get a brick fireplace built, I would have to do a lot of extra work. And it was going to cost about $11,000. And I was like, I'm not spending $11,000. I will not even spend nowhere near that with this configuration. So it's just the idea that sometimes when you do it yourself, if you have good help, you can get a lot done. Yep. Michael said fireside chat. Yep. Bypass, clueless, looks awesome again. Good people, Dawn. Oh, a picture? Sure, Dawn. I can bring it back up. You might have had to be away for a moment, but this is the picture of the fireplace. There you go. Kind of see it, right? Yep. Let me see. And of course, let me show you. I'm big into fire. So that's the actual fireplace itself. I got a really kind of a tall one. It's about 48 inches, or 42 inches wide and 38 inches high, so a little over 3 feet. So I wanted to be able to sit back in the pavilion and be able to see the fire. And some of those fireplaces have such short, um, they have very short tops to them, right? Here, okay, so that's the pavilion right there. All right, I'll get close. So I'm trying. That's the pavilion, and then you can see the fireplace sitting in the corner there, and that's the backyard. And backyard goes all the way to the trees. I have lots outside the fence. So, yep. There's a more of an angled picture looking up underneath, and you can see the blue sky and all the grass. Oh, my dog is sitting right there. That's why I took that picture. The dog is sitting there. She feels she has to be near me all the time. So, yep, that's it. There's kind of a look of it, sitting in the rocking chair, looking at the fire, gives you perspective. Eventually, I'll close in the rafters and do all that stuff. So it'll be a nice place to sit back and relax. And there's another little picture. You see the rose bush the wife planted on the side. And yeah, I plan on, like I said, building some half-high walls so that I can block the wind. But yeah, that whole pavilion came about because of COVID. We couldn't go to church. The third Sunday in March of 2020, they closed church on us. And so we had to meet in all sorts of places in our small group. We normally met at our home, but everybody was nervous about being indoors. So we met out at a local park in one of the pavilions. And I remember being in the pavilion and it was nice, but when the wind blew, it was very cold. So I thought, well, we ought to build a pavilion and then I can have it at my house. And it'd be a little tight for 16 of us on that pavilion, but we could do it, and we could meet and then have high walls, have plenty of air and stuff like that, and a fireplace. And that way we can have some meetings for our small groups there. Yeah. And my daughter was talking, so I was looking at that. Well, you should talk to your daughter. Right. Now, don't get me wrong. If my wife is around, they're going to the wife in a nuclear second because they have a great relationship. They are simpatico. My wife plays with them and they love to do bubbles and they love to do paper games and play ball. And I feed them. I love them. I take care of them. I'll play ball on occasion, but I'm not a daily, multiple times through the day guy to play with the dogs. So they defer to me. They're respectful of me. I'm respectful of them. I love them. I take care of them. I hate anything to happen to them, but yeah. Hey, Maribel, good to see you. How are you? I trust all is well with you. I do. We had a couple people on this evening. We had a brand new person come in, a big man, Alaska, goes by the name of John, who's already lost 111 pounds in 21 weeks. Ooh. And Desanya was on also, so that was good. And we were able to yuck it up and catch up on some things and talk about things. Yep. Doing a push workout. So you're pushing stuff. Very cool. I remember doing push workouts when I was in football. I haven't done much push. Now, does that mean you're also doing like all your bench presses and military press, all the pushing exercises? Good. I'm glad you're getting a workout on. Matter of fact, I'm about 5 minutes or so from wrapping this up. It is 10:39. Got a full day tomorrow doing tile and other things. See, tomorrow's Tuesday. And if I look at my calendar to make sure I get it right, I got to do that too. I got to redo my passport. My passport's behind. bad man. And then every day, I don't know if you can see this. See, every day on my calendar, I have this on my calendar. I don't know if you all have something like this on your calendar. Do you see that? It says appointment, God's will, surrender. Yeah, I make sure to remind myself every day. Put on my calendar. If it's on my calendar, I'll be sure to do it. What time do I start? I normally start about 8:30 to 9, in between 8:30 and 9, Monday through Thursdays. Pretty much. By 9 o'clock, I'll be on, generally speaking. Yep. Oh, using the dumbbells. Okay, there you go. Dawn says, since we rent no pets yet, Melly now following her new method, and he's walking. Oh, okay. There you go. What time I start? It's 8:30 in here in California. So yeah, you're 2 hours. So it'd be 6:30 is your time, or 7 o'clock your time. Yeah, about 7 o'clock your time. Probably not the best time for you. I apologize. All right, Laura, thank you so much. Oh well, thank you very much. You're too kind. Yeah. Yeah, I've got my passport, but I let it expire, and now it's taking forever to get them done. But I'm not planning to go anywhere right now, so I'm not too worried about it. I just have to fill out the passport paperwork. I have to give them a picture, and they'll send one to me in 3 or 4 months, and it'd be good, right? But with all that, yep, you put me in a calendar. I put everything in my calendar. I use my calendar to track everything. And since I use Google, it ports over to my other calendars, and my wife sends me things that end up on my calendar. And that really, really simplifies things, because I am notorious for missing appointments and stuff. I guess I just don't pay attention, to be honest. That's fair. Except I got to come here and do this, and I love doing this. So with that, I would like to bid you adieu. I hope everybody has had a good day, a very special day. And I hope each one of you had an opportunity to get into your prayer closet today. I hope each one of you have had an opportunity to worship today. And I like to tell, hey, Northern Stitcher, thank you so much. You're always welcome here. Anytime you want to join in, you'll let me know. I'll shoehorn you in. If you want to just stay there in the comments, you're always welcome there. Everybody is always welcome. Greg, I see you there. I know you're working on things. Appreciate the opportunity to talk with you this evening. I look forward to what you did. I got an email from you. So again, I hope you all have a blessed evening. I hope tomorrow is a blessed day for you, and you find time to get alone with God and talk with Him and nurture your personal relationship with Him in whatever way you choose to do it. And that some people like to do it just by being out on their porch and watching nature. It says in Romans 1:20, right? But by seeing nature, that no one would have a reason to not know of Him. So take care. God bless. Again, thank you very much. And you all take care. Bye-bye.